Hey guys, hopefully everything is going well for you guys. Here is chapter 37. We're going to be talking about freedom of speech. Chapter 36, we kind of focused on individual rights and liberty, and this is all going to be talking about constitutional law. So today we're going to be talking about that freedom of speech, and we know that that is the First Amendment, and it protects all forms of communication, whether that is speeches, books, art, newspapers, television, radio, other media. But remember what we learned in chapter 36. Not all the Bill of Rights are not absolute, and this really means this during the First Amendment. All speech is not protected. Some speech is not. And we're going to go through some of the speeches that are some of the type of speech that is not protected by the First Amendment. But first of all, the importance of freedom of speech. It provides us with a marketplace of ideas. Okay, when we are able to speak what we think, speak of our ideas, we're able to collaborate. We're able to brainstorm. Rather than having the government establish ideas for us, rather than the government telling us what to do and what to believe and what to think. This is also essential for people of America to self-govern themselves. When we state our political ideas, we can work together with people. We can solve problems. We can make laws. We can help govern ourselves, govern the United States of America through our free speech. So the first type of speech that is not necessarily protected by the Constitution is obscenity. Obscenity is anything that treats sex or nudity in an offensive or lewd manner. It exceeds recognized standards of decency and lacks serious literary, artistic, political, or scientific value. An example, pornography would be one that and in obscenity just depends on how it is being distributed. Also, this is a real tricky one. It is hard to kind of establish what is and what isn't. But in 1957, the Supreme Court ruled that obscenity is not protected by the Constitution. Next one we're going to talk about is defamation. We've talked about that, but defamation is not protected as well. Defamation is that false expression about a person that damages the person's reputation. And we know that slander is defamation that is spoken, and libel is defamation that is written. Here is an example of some defamation. For example, assume a patient said that her doctor was careless and had caused the death of patients. If others heard this remark, the doctor could sue the patient for slander if the statement had been false. If the patient had written the same thing in a letter, the suit would be for libel. However, if a statement written or spoken, no matter how damaging or embarrassing, is proven to be true, the plaintiff cannot win a defamation suit in court. The U.S. Supreme Court has special rules that make it difficult for public officials or public figures to win defamation cases. So, if it is true, if it could be defamation but it's true, then the plaintiff who is bringing the suit forward will not win. So, it's not technically defamation if it is true. Commercial speech. Advertising is considered commercial speech, and it is distinguished from individual speech. A commercial speech it receives no protection from the courts. And then the next one is fighting words, offensive speakers, and hostile audiences. I'm sure you've all heard, or you even said, those are fighting words. That means those words are inciting you anger and you want to fight. These words are also not protected by the First Amendment. These words are so abusive and so hurtful that it may cause you to some imminent breach of peace. What it says between the speaker and the learner. If one of the speakers says says some words that incite fighting, and then that would be fighting words. These are not protected by the First Amendment. And hate speech. Hate speech, words that are motivated by bigotry and racism. We've all heard of, a lot of, hate speech. You hear white supremacy groups, they hold rallies, and that it can be constituted as hate speech. Opponents of hate speech support punishment because they believe it causes emotional and psychological hardships on the people who are hearing this. They also argue that hate speech amounts to fighting words, so it shouldn't be protected by the First Amendment. It depends if that audience is incited, and if they start to raise up and riot, then it could be possibly causing problems where it would not be protected by the United States Constitution. All right, these law and justice chapters are pretty quick. A lot quicker than my United States history ones. But I am done with Chapter 2. I'm sorry, Chapter 37. We also have Chapter 38 that will be next. And then we will have a little assignment. The assignment is going to be on actually hate speech, a Nazi rally, a demonstration that is being done, and how a town rallies together and passes some laws to stop them from doing it. And then we're going to talk about the First Amendment. I want you to answer a question on whether regarding that. So thank you very much. What you'll do next is when you click out of, or when this ends, you'll click down on the bottom where it says Chapter 37 comprehension questions. There'll be 3 questions there. Please answer them, and that shows me that you were participated and listened. Again, I hope all are safe, and we'll talk to you later.